Revid is a powerful AI video platform that makes creating and scaling short-form content simple and professional. In this walkthrough, I'll guide you step by step so you can see exactly how it works. We'll start with account setup so you know how to get started quickly and connect your workspace. From there, I'll dive into the massive library of AI video tools, everything from hooks, scripts, avatars, face swaps, podcasts, and many more, all designed to help you produce engaging videos at scale. And then we will end it with the pricing plans, so you'll know exactly which plan fits your needs and how to maximize Revid with the right features. Alright, so now to get started is that you want to go here into the website of Revid. You can use a link in the description so that you can go here easily and to ensure that you have the correct website. Also, it's an affiliate link so you'll be able to support this channel if you use that. And we also have a coupon code in the description below. So while you're at it, you can see the coupon code. You can use that later on the checkout page when you purchase a Revid subscription so you can get a huge discount. So now, once you're here, to get started, you can click here on sign in on the top right if you already have an account, or try for free if you don't have an account yet. So now I'm going to click here on try for free because I don't have one yet. So now we can start setting up our account. And from here, you can click on continue with Google if you would want to use your Google account in signing in into Revid. You could also manually input your email in here. You can click and get started. You would get a code and then you'd need to type in the code in here so that you can log in here in Revid. Now, once you're signed in, you will now be prompted here on the homepage of your Revid account. And from here, you can start using Revid because they offer a free plan with free credits. As you can see here on the bottom left, I have 70 credits. Basically, they would give you 80, but I have consumed a little bit of that right here. So this is the free plan, and you can also notice that they also offer this one right here. So you can get more credits right here by completing these tasks, which is your first steps on Revid so that you can try them on. So you can also do this if you don't want to commit yet into a paid plan here in Revid. So if you're interested in a paid plan, I will be discussing that later on at the end of this video, so stay tuned. For now, I'll be jumping over onto the features on what you can do here on Revid. First thing is that I'm gonna go here into create a new video button on the top left. So you can click here and then you can start creating a video or your content here in Revid, and you'll be prompted in this page. So basically here where you're first prompted when you first signed in. Now, you can see that you have the list of tools in here. So you can go and choose one right here, or if you'd want to view more, you can click on Browse All Tools, or you can just click here on the left menu, All Tools. Now, you can choose the tools that you would want to use here on Revid. So there are a lot right here. So there's a vast library of tools that is used here in Revid. So you can pick one, and you also have it grouped right here or categorized at the top. So you can see for creation, we have this one, prompt to video, AI movie maker, cinematic videos, and many more. So in terms of music, they also have tools for that, social medias, editing, avatars, audio, marketing, education, brain rot. So it's also available in here. So yeah, you can just choose which one you want and just simply click on it. For example, static background, you can see that right here, and then it will now be generated with right here. So you now have these options for the static background or the tool of your choosing, and you just need to manually set the details in here on on how you would like the result to be. So for this example is that I'm just going to stick to the most basic and the most popular one, which is the prompt to video, because most of you are probably going to use this one. So I'm going to use this as a demonstration. I wouldn't be able to do this one by one because there are too many in here and it would take a long time. So I'm just going to demonstrate this because essentially the concept here on how you'd be able to use these tools is basically the same across all tools right here. On any tool that you use, you just simply need to look closely on the options that you would get depending on the tool that you have, and then just simply set the settings. So yeah, that would depend on the tool that you use. So in this example, prompt to video, first thing that we're going to do is to select the aspect ratio here on the right side. We can see that we can go for portrait, landscape, or square, depending on the aspect ratio of your choosing. Now, let's say that I'm going to post this on TikTok. So I would need a portrait one. I'm going to click here and make sure it's selected. Also, you can see the estimated cost right here. So 46 credits. You want to make sure that you look closely to this as you create your content here on Revit. Because if you run out of credits here in Revit, you wouldn't be able to use the tools or create new content here anymore because they would cost you credits. And yeah, you basically take note of that. Monitor this right here. And then when you hover here on the question mark sign, you would be prompted with that pop-up wherein you could see on why this is worth 46 credits. And then we could also see our credits right here on how much we have on the bottom left. So make sure that you monitor both of them closely. We could also see that we have the output example. So this is how it's going to look like. By using this tool, we'll be able to generate something like this. You can click here to hide or unhide it. Now, next is that we have the settings in here. So first we have the video prompt because this is prompt to video. Now here we have prompt generator. So this is very useful, especially for beginners, or maybe you just don't want to do this manually all by yourself. You can click here on prompt generator, and then you can be broad with your idea in here and let AI handle the rest in constructing or structuring your prompt or your final prompt here that will be placed in this box. So for example, I'm gonna go with a boy that is walking to school, then suddenly gets tripped by a huge stone. Right there. So that is a very generic one, basically just a concept. You can add more details if you'd want to, so that AI would be able to include those details on the final structure of your prompt. But for me, I'm just gonna stick with a simple concept and just let AI handle the rest across all the details. I'm gonna click here on generate prompt. And now it's generating. We just need to wait for a bit and it will now generate us a complete prompt just from that simple concept. So as you can see, a young boy walks along a quiet suburban street on a sunny morning. Backpack bouncing with each step and so on. And then a massive jagged stone sits right in the middle of the path. So there it is. So basically this is the concept in here, and it also has added some more details like cutting to a wide shot as he lands with a thud, limbs sprawled, and many more. So that's it. And now we can go for the next one. You could also add some reference images here, by the way. If you'd want to add into your prompt, you could also enable web search, or you could go show a random example of a prompt. In here, we have the target duration. So now you can manually set the duration of your video if you'd want. You could also go for auto. In this case, then the estimated cost right here would be unreliable because it would depend on the AI later on when you generate this, so it will not be decided right now. But if you can go for manual, then you can go for a accurate estimated cost. So you can set the duration here manually because the duration greatly affects how much cost is this generation going to make. So make sure that you also adjust this accordingly to your budget. For example, I'm just going to go for around 15 seconds right there. And then this would now cost me 29 credits right there. And actually, I'm just going to go for 20 right here because this is story one. So there should be a lot of duration here. And then we have the customization options. So how would you want your video visually going to be? So you can go for AI video. If you'd want that, then you would be able to do this if you have an active subscription. This is only available if you have the paid plan. So unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to do this. You can go for moving AI images instead if you don't want. And take note that this also affects the estimated cost. As you can see, AI video would cost me 94, while moving AI images just 33. We have stock videos at 33. Your own media, you can upload your own if you'd want to. And then we also have the static or gameplay video right here. So that would cost 33 credits. So yeah, the reason this costs so much because this would be some unique footage of your own according to your prompt in here. So for this example, I'm just going to go for static gameplay actually. Right here. So this is very popular on TikTok. If you have already come across this content, like for example Reddit stories, where they just narrate the story and have display in the video, so that this would visually stimulate the viewers and keep them engaged while listening to the story. So it is a really good one right here. So I'm gonna go static gameplay in here. Now you can select the game right here that you would want to play in your video. So we have Subway Surfer, we have Satisfying, some ASMR in here, UGC, Temple Run, Minecraft, Fortnite, Trackmania, or you can go for custom. You can upload here if you'd want to. So for this example, I'm just gonna go for Minecraft. I think this one is the most popular with some parkour videos right here. And then we can now select a voice. So in here, you can expand that just like this one. And now you can select a voice. So this is from 11 Labs. So you can be assured with the quality in here, they are all very good. So now in here, we have Brian here. So you can just click here on the play button so that you can preview the voice and see if you like it. So you can click here.
The thing always happens that you really believe in, and the belief in a thing makes it happen.
And I think this voice would already work great with my content in here. I think so. So you could also go for other voices in here. You can click on show all voices, and then you can play other voices. And basically here, if there are any other better options in here. So for example, Callum.
Life without love is like a tree without blossoms or fruit.
We have Jessica.
If you spend your whole life waiting for the storm, you'll never enjoy the sunshine.
So yeah, that's it. And you can do more right here if you'd want. But for this example, I'm just gonna stick with Brian. And now you can go here into select or generate music. You can expand this again, and then you can now choose the background music of your choice. So you can again play here on this button right here so that you can preview the musics. I think the best one for me here would be the Adventure Time. So I'm going to go click here and select Adventure Time just like that. And then you can click here and view more sounds if you would want more sounds here, more choices if you didn't find the one that you want. And then we have the advanced options. So you can expand that, and now you can see that we can now control the captions. You can go for a basic, Revid, basic, or this one right here. We have the Alex Hormozy style and many more right here, depending on how you would want it. So I just basically would like this one right here. And you could also choose the alignment and so on. And don't worry about this. You can change that later on if you don't, if you ever regret choosing these captions in here. We can edit that later on. And then we have the video format and media. So you can choose your screen ratio. So I'm going to go for portrait right here. So make sure that this is the same as you have set right here. And then we have the content animation. You can add stickers if you would want to make your to make your video more fun and engaging. Generate sound effects if you'd want to. But for me, I don't want that because this is just a narration video. And then we have the replace voice. So you can choose the stability of the voice of the narrator. You can go for expressive, balanced, stable. You can enable that if you would want to replace it. But for me, I'm just going to go and disable that and just stick to the basic. And we have some language and localization. You can choose the language in here so that you could help the AI to be more accurate. And in quality and safety, you can enable NSFW filter, or if it contains violence. You can also generate a cover thumbnail for your video, but I don't think I would need both of this right here. And then we have the watermark. If you'd want to, you can enable that and put in the watermark on your video by uploading your watermark in here. And you can also add an ending video, so like a CTA, logo animation, or so on. You can enable that and upload it in here. So those are your options in here. So as for this one, I don't want any of the settings, just this captions. So it's enabled right here. And if you'd want to disable again, you can click here on disable captions and it will now be disabled. So that's it. And now once you are all ready with the settings in here, you can now click on generate a video once you are okay with the credit spending. Unfortunately, I don't have credits anymore, so I wouldn't be able to do that anymore. As you can see, it says not enough credits, credits not used. But don't worry, I have generated a content earlier which is similar to what we did earlier in the prompt, which is the gameplay video, which is right here. So now we're just gonna preview this first, just so that you can see on how it goes, and then I'll show you on how you can edit them if you would want to edit. So I'm gonna click here on preview.
Some exams are impossible to pass alone.
Please, just let me get a perfect score.
Knowledge isn't earned, it's granted. Suddenly, every answer was clear. Wish granted. Some exams are...
So yeah, that is basically it. Note is that you don't want to mind the resolution first. I know it's kind of a bit blurry, but that is only because this is a preview video, so it's in low resolution, as you can see here in this notice at the bottom. So you just want to disregard that. Just make sure that everything in the flow is good. And if it's all good with you, then you can now download this if you'd want, or you can click here on export video. And however, if you think this is not good, then you can click here on edit. Then you can edit something in here if there are some parts that you would want to change, and it will now take you to the editor, which is right here. Now that we are here in the editor, I will now explain the tools and features here so that you can use this effectively on your own. So first is that we can see the frame section here on the left menu. So this is where you'd be able to see the frames or slides here on your video. So you could also see the text in here. So basically these are the captions right here. So they are basically sliced or grouped into captions right here, or slides as you may call them. So some exams are, and then the next one you can click here on this button so that you can jump into that slide or this slide or wherever it is. You can just click here so that you can navigate to the frames here. And then you can also change the text directly in here. Like for example, I can type something like that, and there it is, as you can see. And if you update the script right here, or the transcript, it would need to regenerate the voiceover, because it would also need to voice over the text that you have made. So that's it. Take note of that. And then you can click here on the plus button if you would want to add a new frame between these two slides. So you can click here on the plus icon, and then for example, I'm going to click here and confirm, and then there it is. We now have that slide there. So I'm just gonna go and undo that. So I'm gonna go here for the middle of alone and please. I'm gonna go click here and confirm, and then now we have my text right here. So now you can put in the text that you want, and then here you can change the scene right here. You can click here on replace. You can edit it and click on delete, frame size, and many more right here. You have animation transition, media size, and trim, alignment, and more. You also have the library. So this is where you can pick your media that will be playing on this slide or on this frame. So you can go for generating by using AI, and then you can use a prompt right here. You can go for a video for this one, and then you can use the settings. So you have your AI model, duration, aspect ratio, and some other settings. You can click here and generate, and this would cost you 15 credits, as you can see right here. You'd also upload your start and end frame if you'd want it to be fixed with the start and end frame. You have images, videos, stock photos, and many more. So you have more options here on how you would want to upload your media to be used in this current frame of your choosing. So that's how you can do that. So that's for the frames. Now let's go into slide. And here you can see the number of slides. So we are currently in slide number 4. You can see that right here. You can place a background color if there are any borders or there are background color to be seen in your video. But in my case, it's in full screen, so not really. But yeah, this is where you'd be able to add some background. So you can select the colors in here and so on. And you could also disable the captions for the slide if you'd want. That's it. And you can also delete slide if needed. Next, we have the text. So this is where you can add text. So if you would want more text to be added here on the slide, you can click here and add text, and then there will now be a new text that would be generated here. So now we have this one. So this is the new text. You can now customize the text inside that. For example, I'm gonna go for new text example there, and now we have this one right here. And we can change the color of that, the font style, and some other text settings in here. Even the effects, you can change that right here, depending on how you'd want it. And also the in naturation, which is for the animation. So you could also select that right here. So as for this one, I don't want this new text. I'm just going to delete that right there by pressing the backspace button. And we have the media. So this is what we've discussed earlier, wherein you can choose the media that you would want to play on the slide that you are currently selecting. For example, here, you could select the media in here on how you'd want to generate, because these are your options on how you can get your media or choose your media. So that's it. And if you go here into current, you can see that we have the medias for frame 4. So you can see that right here, which is the video and the voiceover. You can edit the voiceover if you want. You can change this right here. You can click here and regenerate voiceover if text was changed here for this slide. You can click here. And then you can also set the volume. You can mute this, and then the transcript. You can see that right here on what the voiceover said right here. So that's it. So if you want to remove this voice or you want to change that, you can click here on OK, and then it will now be removed just like that. If you'd want to generate a new one, you can go here into audio, and this is where you can see the voiceover right here. You can minimize the volume here or adjust it accordingly. And here you could see the voiceover that you have generated in here. You can edit them or regenerate. You could also create a new generation of voiceover right here if you'd want to. Next, we have the music. You could also change the music here, and also the sound effects. You can add more if you want. You can click here and add to slide if you would want to do that, and it will now be added. As you can see here in the timeline, we now have this the door shot audio right here that was added, and then you can remove this if you want. You can change the volume, you can loop this or regenerate. So this one is not applicable. So yeah, that is basically how you can do this. So I'm just gonna delete this one right here. I'm gonna select that and press backspace. Next is that we can go into the captions. So this is where you can change your captions look. So you can go for different captions in here if you want to change that right here. If you've changed your mind with the caption that you have selected when generating your content, you can go for custom if you'd want. And yeah, those are your settings. And then you can go here into the settings button. So you can go for the text direction. You can make it right to left if this is what you want. And then the background color, you could also set this right here. Next, let's discuss the timeline. So in here, we have the video. This is the whole duration. And then you could basically jump through the slides in that whole duration video. So you can see the durations right here. And then we have some elements in here. This one is the voiceover. This one is the text. So it is color coded. So violet would be voiceover. And then this one, sky blue, would be text. And green would basically be sound effects or music. So you can see that in here. Now the next thing is that we're gonna go click here on split. So if there's any media that you want to split, you can click here on the split media, and then you have the play button here, and then we have the zoom button. So you could go and unzoom, or zoom out on the timeline. You could also do that right here. So I'm just gonna stick to 100 right there. And then lastly is that you will want to navigate here into these buttons here. So you have the undo and redo button. They are important in case you make some mistakes, you want to bring them back. You can click here and undo, or you could go for redo if you regret or you've made a mistake. And then you can select the resolution in here or the aspect ratio. So you could go for portrait, you can make it into landscape, into square, and many more right here, depending on the format that you want. And then once you're all done with your edits in here, you can now click here on export or publish to now start exporting or downloading your video if you are now satisfied with everything. So you can click here and you can now start a new export. You can select the resolution in here, 720p, 1080p, or 4K, and then choose the frame rate and then click here on export once you're done. Unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to do this because this is only available on the paid plan. So if you would want to edit, then you want to make sure that you have a paid plan and make sure to use the coupon code in the description so that you can get a discount. All right, so now we are now done with the editor. This is very important to learn right here because you will be able to use this on all videos that you generated here in Revit. So this is actually very useful here if you plan on using Revit for your contents. Next thing I'll be discussing is going back in here into create new video, and this time we'll be going into guided. So this would be the guided mode. So this is especially useful for beginners if you don't know what tools to use and so on. So basically you'll just be chatting here with AI just like ChatGPT in using Revid AI. So in this way you don't have to know the technical know-hows like here on these individual settings for you to create a video. Here you would have less control, but this is already pretty good for beginners who are not really the tech savvy create videos here on Revit. So let me demonstrate. For example, I'm gonna go for just send the instructions in here. Let's say create me an ASMR video about bottles falling off a table right there, and then you can indicate the details, like for example, I want the table to be wood, and then you can go for more details like 20 seconds video and some more details. So you want to input it all right here, and the AI will basically be able to understand all the details and include that in your prompt for your video. And no background music, just sound effects only. And then you can also click here on upload button if there are any elements or media that you would want to use or incorporate into your video. You could upload that right here if needed. In my case, I don't have any, so I'm just going to click here on send. And basically it will now be sent to the AI and it will now respond here. So great concept, a wooden table, bottles falling, pure ASMR sound effects. So it will now be using the Veo 3 AI model as indicated in here. And here's what I'll set up: wooden table, sound effects only, in 20 seconds. So if you're not ready to build this, you can click here on yes, build it if you would want to generate the video now. And sometimes AI would ask some follow-up questions like how long should the video be or any other details that might be appropriate for the video. So in this case, it didn't have any following questions. So we can now build it right away right here. You could also just change something by clicking here on this button or type it in here manually. Or you could configure this manually, and this will basically send these settings onto the advanced setup, which we did earlier. So you also have that option in here. You could upload an input if there's something you'd want to upload, reference image, or whatever it is. You could just answer in chat and so on, depending on what you'd want. So that's it. So you can just basically chat here on what you'd want to happen. Basically, you can click here on yes, build it, and it's now thinking through the setup. And it is now ready to build, and it will now build the video, and that's it. So now you can just click here on create directly, and it will now generate the video. And as you can see, it says this will cost credits. Make sure you gave all the necessary info to create the video that you want so that you don't waste your credits, and you click on create directly, and it will now start creating the video. So that's basically how you can do the guided mode. Now, here when you click on configure manually, as you can see, it has now sent the prompt here into the tool. So it has chosen the Veo 3 tool. So it has automatically chosen a tool for us, and the prompt and some other settings right here. So if there's something that you do want to change here, you can change it manually in here. So this is also a great way for you to start with a template here in the advanced setup just by using the guided mode, so that you don't have to do all chats. You could also configure it here manually through the advanced setup. So that's also another option for you. And yeah, that is basically how you can create the videos here on Revit. You can use all the tools in here. Feel free to explore on what you need or want to use. Next, let's go into Publish. You can click here on the left menu. So for this feature, you would need to connect your social accounts first so that you can publish the videos that you have created here on Revid AI without leaving the platform. So you can click here on connect social accounts, and from here you can add your TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, or others. You can also go for the channels manager. So this would make you able to schedule content on multiple social media accounts from one place. And yeah, that's basically it. And now from here is that I'm just going to connect my account real quick. So now I'll connect my YouTube and click here on continue. And now it's currently loading. We just have to wait for it for a bit, and it has now been connected, as you can see in here. Now we can proceed into the publish once again. And in here, we can now choose the date right here that we would want to post something. For example, I'm going to go here on Monday, May 11. You can click here on this time slot, and then you could now open your videos in here and choose the video that you would want to publish. And once you have chosen a video, then it will now be prompted here into the publish section. You should now be able to see that listed in here. You could also edit the caption, the title of the video, depending on the social media platform that you're posting this to. You could also do the description from here, so you can see that list in here. So that's basically the publish here on how you'd be able to do it. You also have the past publications so that you'd be able to see all your history postings, and you could view them from here if you'd want to look back. All right, so now next is that we have stats here in the left menu. So this is where you'd be able to see the performance stats of all the videos that you have here created on Revid and uploaded to the social media channels, or you have published, just as we have discussed earlier. So this is where you'd be able to see how well they are doing. It's that easy. You can click here on refresh stats so that you would get updated stats. And these are post activity from the last 30 days. So you'll be seeing your stats here if you have your published content in here in Revit. Next thing to discuss, we have auto mode. So this would let you create AI worker. So what AI worker can do is that they can do your video creation process, and each worker will generate one video for you every day automatically. So this is auto mode right here, and you can see here at the bottom, we can see that we have YouTube to Shorts. So you can just input YouTube channels, feed it into the AI, and let Revid AI create shorts automatically every day for you. So you just need to fill some data regarding the type of content or the type of channel that you would want to create content for. Let AI know about it, and then they would be the one to create content for you. So all you have to do now is to just monitor it, or maybe a quality check. If it's good, then you upload it. You don't need to manually do the video creation process itself right here with the auto mode right here, because you can create AI worker. Unfortunately, this is only available in the paid plan. So you would have to go and purchase a paid plan if you would want to try this out. But basically, this is what the auto mode can do in here. We also have blog to video and daily kids music. So these are the kinds of videos as examples that you can create here using the auto mode. Of course, you could also use it in other tools such as Video 3, Lyrics to Music Video, and so much more right here. So that's basically the auto mode here in Revit. Next, we have AI characters. So this is where you'd be able to create talking avatar and consistent characters to reuse in multiple content. So for example, you have a channel that has a brand and with a certain persona, like for example, a cat or AI avatar or something like that. So this is where you can create your avatar, and then you can use this along with your tools here in Revit. So now, here we have three methods on how we can create our AI character. First is that we have from scratch, or you can go pick from the library here in Revit. So you can select images to use as AI influencers, see media library. You can see that right here, but we haven't uploaded anything yet, so there's nothing. And here are the default characters that we have here on Revit and from webcam. So if you have something physical that you would want to turn into your character here in Revit, then you can open up your camera or webcam in here, and that is also another way for you to generate your character in here. But probably should be the from library in here, wherein you can upload your own custom image if you have an image of the character that you would want to add. Like for example, SpongeBob, you can upload that right here, or you could just go from scratch and basically create a unique character based on your prompt. So for example, I'm gonna go for a vampire, a female vampire with freckles on the face, tall and dark, something like that. So as you can see, this would be the details that I would want. So the rest of the details, I would let AI decide for that because I haven't indicated it right here. But basically, you would want to include as much details as possible here in the description. And then you can choose the style for your AI character. So for this one right here, I'm going to go for in a dark room, in a dark church. Something like that, for example. And choose the style. So we have default, Ghibli Studio, educational, Pixar, anime, realist, and many more. So for example, I would want the Pixar one. And the number of images, so I'm just going to go for 1 so that it will only cost me 16 credits. So if you go for 2, that would be times 2, times 3, and so on. Only 1, and click on generate character. So now it's generating, so we just need to wait for that and we'll be able to see the results in a while. Alright, so now here's the result. As you can see, the result is actually pretty great. And I'm really satisfied with that. And as you can see here with my description, female vampire with freckles on the face. As you can see, there's the freckles there. And you could also see that it is tall and dark as indicated here in my description, and in a dark church. So there's the dark church in there. Now you get to name your character. For example, I'm going to go for Vampire Girl. And then you can click here on Save Character to Library. Or if you want to tweak this image, you can edit it right here first. And you can go for make, let's say, make her angry. And then you can click here and edit. So that would cost 16 credits. So you can see the credit cost in there. Make sure that you're aware. And then it's now editing, so we just have to wait for a bit. Alright, so now here's the result. As you can see, the girl is now angry here. So I'm just going to rename this into Grumpy Vampire Girl right there. And then now you can click on Save Character to Library. And then we'd now be able to save this for a later use. When we create our content, we can use this character. And you should see that right here listed under your character. So we now have the Grumpy Vampire Girl and with the prompt on how we use that. So there it is. Now let me show you on how you would be able to use these AI characters and where to use them. Basically, you just need to go here into all tools again. And now you want to go here into avatars category. And these are the tools that you can use your character or avatar on. For example, here in Talking Avatar, you can click on that and you'll now be able to see this option. You can now select your avatar and then you should see the one that you created right here under custom group. So you can click on that and then it will now be selected, and then just modify the settings once again until you're done. Click on generate video and you have successfully used your AI character with this tool and generating the video. You can also go for the other avatar tools. So we also have the AI celebrity video generator, deepfake video maker, Santa generator, and many more right here. For example, celebrity video maker, just navigate down and then you should now be able to see select avatar, go into custom, and then you can select it right here, or you could just simply go and select avatars that is from the library here in Revit. So that's basically the AI characters in here. Next is that we have the repurpose option here on the left menu. So basically this feature is very simple to use on how you can repurpose a video from other viral videos. So now you just need to input a topic in here and it will now perform a search on the TikTok viral videos. So now, for example, the topic that I want is about discipline. And then you can click here on search. And now It's gonna search the TikTok
You
database
want to be the
for some videos in here that are doing good. So you just need to browse this video and just navigate to which one you like. So let's just preview a few.
one that says, fuck it, I'm going to do it anyway.
You don't feel like working out? It doesn't matter.
So yeah, these are the kind of videos that I'm looking for. So let's say that I'm gonna go for this one because this one has got 180k plays, and I'm interested in also gaining that much plays. So I'm gonna click here.
No one's coming. No one.
And now when you click on the video, you will now be able to see this right pane. So now you can see the creator, the video, how much views, the video script right here, or video transcript. You can rewrite this so that you can repurpose it as your own. And there are more suggested ways on how you can repurpose. And you have the summary and the hashtags that were used. And now, once you're ready and you're sure of this video to repurpose this, click here on Create Video with this script. And basically, it will just take you into the script to video. And from that video that you have selected, it extracted the script that you have and imported it in here. And now, what you just need to do is to go into customize options and the settings in here and click on generate video once you're done. Basically the same thing as we did earlier. And yeah, that is basically how you can repurpose just by using the script to video right here and getting inspiration from the repurpose section on the left menu. Next, we have more tools in here. So we have the export. So this is where you can see all the exports that you have made here in Revid. So this is where you can see the videos. And then scripts. So this is where you would be able to talk about and generate video scripts right here. So you want to describe your video. So for example, I'm gonna go for let's say a video about a cat going on a walk at the moon, right there. And then you can pick your script style. You can go for general, fan facts, news, educational, and many more right here. So I'm just gonna go for fantasy because obviously this concept here is fantasy. And then we have the target duration, so how many words. You can go for 70 words or more or less, and this is how much it's going to be in seconds if you're going to read it. And then we have add assets, so you can add reference images, documents, and so on that you would want to be added here as details on your video to be described in here. And then once you're done, you can click on generate video scripts. And now you will now be able to see that we now have scripts here that was generated. So now with the scripts in here, you can now copy them or you can create a video depending on which one you want. For example, we'll be creating a video and it will now prompt you into this tool, which is again script a video, because you have made a script. And if you want to make it into a video, you want to go here into the tool, script a video. So once again, it is imported in here for you to easily generate a video once you have set the options in here that you'd want. Next, we also have hooks. So this is where you can generate hooks for your content. So like, for example, you just need to tell or type in here on what your video is about. For example, my video is about choosing discipline over motivation, and click on generate hooks. And in just a bit, it will now generate you some solid hooks and some other reference videos that is relevant to the topic of your video, so that you would also be able to see from the viral videos right here on what hook is working. And here it is now generating us the hook based from these viral videos and our topic. So that's basically how hooks work here in Revit. Next is that you can go here into media generation, and this is where you can generate an image. So if you're wondering where you can generate an image here in Revit because you can't find it here in all tools, this is where you can do it. So make sure to select image, and in here you can describe your image in here. So let's say the vampire character is sitting in a chair with a glass of wine raised up, something like that. So that's what I am imagining. And in here, you can go for base, pro, ultra. So these are the AI model, or basically the quality. And now, if you go for base, it would cost less credit. And the higher you go, which is ultra, that would cost the most credits. So for this example, I'm just going to go for pro. And then here we have the aspect ratio and the character. So if you'd want to use a character, this is where you can select them. In this case, I would want to select my character that we have created earlier, which is this one. Click on that. And then in here, you could improve your prompt. You could turn that on if you'd want AI to improve this to make it understandable for AI. And then we have the preset right here. So these are art styles right here. And I'm going to go for Pixar once again. And then the number of output to be generated, only one. And then you could add reference images right here if you would want. And that's it. You also have some templates in here. You can go for cinematic, creative. And then here, these are for videos, as you can see with the video icon. So I don't really would want to use this. I'm satisfied with this. You can click here on generate and it will now start generating the image. And now generation is now done and we now have this result. So now let's click on it, and as you can see, here it is. It's looking really good. We now have our vampire character in here, and it's now sitting in a chair inside the church, or the setting that we have here on our original image. And we have the glass of wine, and it is being raised up by our character. So yeah, that is basically how you'd be able to generate an image in here. And basically the same concept when you go for a video. You just need to go for a prompt, and then you have your settings in here. You can also select your characters and so on. But now you have the start frame and end frame option. These are just optional if you would want to keep a specific start frame or end frame. This is especially useful if you would want to loop. You want to make sure that your start frame and end frame are the same exact frame. Now, last feature here is that we have the voice generation. So this is where you can generate your AI voiceovers. So you just need to paste your script and choose the voice, and you can also tune the delivery, and then that's basically it. You can now generate and export it. So now type the text that you would want to turn into speech. For example, hi, this is my sample voice for this video. I hope this is helpful, right there. And then you would want to go here on the right side where you can select the voice that you want. Once again, you can click here on the play icon if you would want to preview the voice and how it sounds like.
The thing always happens that you really believe in, and the belief.
Life without love is like a tree without blossoms or...
If you spend your whole life waiting...
The world is round, and the play...
I have never been hurt by anything I did.
So for this example, I'm going to use Daniel. So I'm going to select here and make sure it's selected. And now from here, you can now go and generate voice. And if you want, you could also go for the voice stability in here if you would want some spice into the voiceover, like it's not so monotonous. Then you can go for the voice ability. You can go for expressive here, but there might be some artifacts, as you can see right here. You can go for stable. This is more monotonous, or you can go for balance and so on. I like to go for expressive, so I'm gonna select this one, and then you can now click here on generate voice. Now that we have tuned the delivery, we can click here. And you could also adjust the voice speed, by the way, but depending on the voice model that you're choosing here. And the voice has now been generated. So now let's preview it. As you can see, it's very fast because this is only just a few texts. And I'm going to play it right here. So here it is.
Hi, this is my sample voice for this video. I hope this is helpful.
So yeah, that is basically it on how you can generate your voice here in Revit. Alright, so now with that, I have now discussed the features here on Revit. So now you can use them yourself effectively. So now it's time to go here into Upgrade Now button so that we can move on into discussing the paid plans. I'll discuss what each one is so that you have an idea on what to get based on your needs. So first is that we have the hobby plan. So this is designed for casual creators who want to remix and edit short form content easily. You can create videos from text, links, or recordings and access over 3 million viral videos to Remix. It's ideal for individuals who want simple, editable videos without diving into advanced AI tools. We also have the Growth Plan, which unlocks the latest AI video models and over 100 AI tools. You'll get features like hooks, scripts, rewrites, and 70 plus language voiceovers, plus publishing directly to TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube with AI avatars, face swaps, podcasts, and full API access. This plan is built for creators or small teams who want to scale content production. It includes 2,000 AI credits per month and 3 auto mode workers, making it perfect for growing channels or brands. Lastly, we have the Ultra plan, which includes everything here on growth, plus advanced scaling power. You can create and clone voices, run 10 auto mode workers, and use 12,000 AI credits per month. This plan is designed for agencies, brands, or creators managing multiple niches or clients who need high volume professional video automation at scale. So with that, basically, free would be the best for testing the platform, and hobby would be for casual creators, growth for serious creators or small teams, and ultra would be for agencies or brands. So now you have an idea on which one you should get. The next thing is that you want to also include choosing the monthly or annual. If you go for monthly, you would be getting the standard price. And notice the price here in hobby is $39 and growth is only also $39. This is only available when it is your first time or when you're new, when you are registering a new account. So they're both the same price. So you should go for growth because you'll have the same price and you'll have more features. Same goes if you go for annually, but you will get a lower price per month. So this is a massive savings already, plus our discount in the description that you could use later on. So the discounts would stack and you would save even greater money. So here, if you'd want to save in the long run, go for annually. But if you just want to try things out, you can go for monthly here. So let's say you want to go for annually and click here on select plan. Now, it's going to take you into the checkout page, which is looking like this. And basically in here, you just simply need to go here and click the add promotion code and then type in our promotion code, which is vid20, and click on apply. And with this, you will now get 20% off, may it be annually or monthly billing. So this would work for monthly or yearly plans. And with that, as you can see, we now have a discount of 20% off and it has now been deducted. All that's left is to provide the payment information here on the right side. Click on subscribe. Once the payment goes through, then you have successfully purchased a subscription here on Revid with a massive discount by using our coupon code in the description. So yeah, that is basically it for this video on how you'd be able to use Revid AI effectively, even as a complete beginner. I hope this video has been helpful to you. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.